Now, you were just asking me if I could see you, and I can see you.
Am I
Can you?
moving or am I still photograph?
You're moving, but that just might be nerves. Are you nervous?
Ah, no, I'm not. I've watched your show for years, and I'm a fan. What can I tell you?
Well, I'm a fan too, and part of the reason I wanted to have you on the show is I care about you, and I know your spirit, and I've seen your spirit on camera and off, and I care about you. So that's why I want to get in here and just kind of knock you around a little bit and see if you can stand on those feet that have been knocked around a bit.
Yeah, let her rip, Doc. Yeah,
Let's talk about your first movie. Your first movie was The Cowboys with John Wayne, the Duke. What was that like?
well, as it was my first movie, I was not familiar with, excuse me, with protocol. And one of the first scenes I had in the film uh, was a scene with a bucking horse, and each one of the cowboys had to stay on the horse for 8 seconds, and the Duke would consider hiring us. So A. Martinez shows up after like the fifth kid, gets on the horse, breaks the horse, hauls ass over to the fence, throws the reins at the next kid and says, "Here you go, boy, maybe you can ride him now." And the kid comes off the fence and goes for it with A. Martinez, and I come off the fence to go for it with A. Martinez because I'm the head kid, you know? And the Duke swoops in there and breaks us up. And he says, "All right, get back on that fence where you belong. Now," and he's turning to A. Martinez, and I say, "Just a second, Mr. Wayne. Um, I don't think you should tell me to get back on the fence where I belong. I think you should just tell me to get back on the fence because I'm the head kid." And there was a dead silence from 150 individuals, and he lit into me pretty good. He reduced me to tears. I'll tell you what. So I don't know what
You
I.
were crying.
Well, I didn't
Let
cry,
me
but
get
I
this.
tears.
Your eyes were full of liquid,
Yes,
but
sir.
not dripping.
Not dripping. No.
But but I want to know. You were out there, and I assume you were in the Mojave or something. Where were you shooting this?
We were in Santa Fe, New Mexico, on the San Cristobal Ranch.
And as far back as you can remember, what were the craft services like at that time?
I don't remember there being any craft service. I remember there was a table with a coffee pot and maybe some bagels. I really don't remember, but I do remember they had coffee because that's where I learned how to drink coffee.
And 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 it's hard to believe, but you were in a John Wayne Gacy movie. I mean, that's unbelievable.
I know, it's huge.
You should have made a joke. I said John Wayne Gacy.
Oh,
You
Gacy.
just playing along?
Well, I thought maybe you had a speech impediment. I wasn't sure what Gacy was. But now that you've explained it, I get it.
Okay, you want to come at me? I'll come at you.
Now let her rip, man. I'm afraid of you, man.
Listen, if you're thinking about starting to drink coffee, this today would be a good day. Let's just say that.
No, I had some.
You,
I loaded up getting ready for you.
now, your friends, you have some friends that I'm somewhat familiar with, and some might call them ne'er do wells. Some might call them knuckleheads. But I'm talking about a certain Ben. Do you know who I'm talking about? Ben S.
Yeah, from Virginia.
If you hang out with people like this, you're going to be people like this. Does that make any sense?
So what you're saying
Do
is
you
that
want to be...
do I want to be like Ben
Say
from
again,
Virginia?
sorry.
No, I don't want to be like Ben from
Oh,
Virginia. So what you're saying is because of
but
osmosis, it might rub off on me?
listen, I don't know math that well, but I'm going to say something that when you rub up against poison ivy, what do you get?
You get poison ivy, man.
Not if you're wearing pants. Put some pants on. Put some
Okay.
pants on, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Do
Okay.
you mind if I call you? Can I call you Bobby or you like Robbie?
I don't like Robbie, but I'll go with Bobby.
All right, Robbie. I'm just kidding. You see how I used it again when you said don't.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to Miranda, aka
Yeah. Lelaine. She
Lil Lane? I try to write it down.
no, but she's a singer, and she kind of segued from being on TV to being a singer, and she's a real good singer.
She zigzagged.
Yeah, she zigzagged exactly.
Do you zigzag? When's the last time you zigzagged?
Yesterday,
What happened?
I got high.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. What do you have? An indica or sativa or what? What
The
was
one
it?
that the one that makes you more perky.
The sativa. Although people are different though. See, when I first started doing indica, it was like coke for me. I was like painting the fucking living room. It got weird.
Okay.
But for you, I'm assuming you're regular sativa. You're a regular sativa guy.
I guess I don't really pay attention to them one way or another. People turn me on to stuff, and I just smoke it.
Okay, that should be the advertisement for marijuana right there. You just smoke it. You ever eat it?
No, I don't like eating it. You can't control how high you get. You know,
Yeah, but
we have a mutual friend, Fred S., and he likes the edibles. And one time he ate too many edibles, and we screened the movie Courage Under Fire. And by the end of the movie, he was just a puddle of. He was just a puddle.
well, because he had to pee, probably, right?
Well, also
I love Fred. I love he's always.
he was so fucking
Go ahead.
high. Can I say fuck on this channel?
I wish you would. I really do wish you would.
All right, man.
You know, Fred's an interesting guy. He's always so neurotic, of course, and he's always like, he says things like, "Oh, geez, I had to put my shower caddy together, and Bobby helped with." Talk about the shower caddy. You put a shower caddy together. That's not easy.
No, it's not. But it required my extensive mechanical fortitude to do it.
When's the last time you used the word fortitude?
Just then.
That's the first and last time?
That's not the first time, but it's the most recent time.
Have you said fortitude in the last 10 years?
No.
That's a heavy ball. That's a heavy ball to pick up. Let's get back to weed real quick. So you said you like edibles?
No, I don't.
Or you
I
don't?
No, I don't like them.
Okay. Because they're just too powerful, right? You can't really get started, you know.
You can't figure out how stoned you're going to get. And after 45 minutes and you're not stoned, you go, shit, I better have another one. And by that time, the first one's starting to kick in. So I just think they're dangerous.
Let's talk about real danger, okay? What's your problem? No, just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I like you. I think you're cool, you know. Talk about Revenge of the Nerds. Can we talk about Revenge of the Nerds? Because I just love that movie so much. The jocks against the nerds. You seem to be more of a jock than a nerd. Just looking at you because you're smoking the weed and.
Well, also,
So-
I'm a motorcyclist and a former racing car driver. I am not a nerd, but I play one in the movies.
I want to get. You do play one, but you do it so well. And tell me the story of that, because there's something involved that you had long hair, and you went to the audition and you had it cut right before you did the audition.
Well, I'll
What
tell-
what did that feel? Is
Let me
that
tell you-
true?
Yeah, it's true. The first meeting was with the director, at 20th Century Fox. I had long hair, and I probably hadn't shaved in a couple of days, and we didn't really hit it off. And I thought, okay, well, that's that. And they wanted me to come back in and audition, and I didn't want to. And my agent said, well, listen, this is a studio film. I mean, you should go back in. I said, yeah, but I don't want to be a nerd, man. Who wants to be in a movie called Revenge of the Nerds? I don't want to do it. He said, come on, man, it's a studio film. I said, okay. So I thought I better go for it. So I had my haircut in a regular boy's haircut, which is very militaresque. And I stopped by an optometrist, and I said, I need some glasses. And I'm looking at all these glasses, and they're like $400 or $500 each. And I'm going, man, I just need a pair of glasses for an audition. He said, oh, what's the part? And I kind of whispered to the guy, I'm playing a nerd. And he goes, oh, I know what you want. I got some nerd glasses in the back. And he goes in the back of his shop. He comes back out with a shoebox. He blows the dust off the top, opens it up, and takes out these NASA engineer-type glasses. And I said, those are perfect. So I put them on, and I went to the audition. And I'm waiting out in the outer office, and the casting assistant comes out, looks right at me, looks the other way, and goes back in. And she does this 2 more times. And finally I say, hey, I have an audition at 2 o'clock, and I've been here for 20 minutes. And she says, oh my God, Bobby? And I said, yeah. She says, oh, come on in. And I blew them away. They couldn't believe it, the transformation.
And what I liked about it in your acting is that you're just so subtle. You're so real. You're not overdoing it like a guy playing a geek or a jock. You were so real that I thought that's kind of what brought me in all the way with the movie and the performance. Was I feel like if you and Gilbert Anthony Michael Hall,
Edwards. No,
Anthony. I thought
Anthony Edwards.
What?
Anthony Edwards.
Oh, right.
Right.
I'm just screwing around. Relax, Bobby. I know what his name is. I know what all these guys' names are.
No, but you might.
But you brought me in, is what I'm. You brought me in, and you let me stay in. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. And there was kind of my mandate when I got to location was that the guy doesn't know he's a nerd. He just thinks he's a guy. And all I brought to location, I went 2 weeks early so I could get away from my motorcycles and my hip lifestyle and just become this nerd. And I wouldn't go out of my hotel room for about 3 days because I just didn't want to be seen as the nerd. And finally I was getting cabin fever, so I got dressed, I went out, and nobody reacted. I was like, I guess they figure I'm an engineering student. So the first day of shooting happened, and I was nervous because, I hadn't done this before, this deep of a character. And when the dailies happened the next day, I didn't go in to watch them, but I waited outside to see what the guys thought, because all the other nerds went in to watch the dailies. And they came out one by one, they're going, wow, you're doing it so real. And I said, yeah, these guys do not know that they're nerds. And they're like, oh, wow, cool, man. So that sort of set the tone for the film that these guys were totally real.
And did the other actors kind of fall suit with that and start to make it more real, or was that, or did it matter for theirs?
No, they absolutely played it straight, except for Larry B. Scott. And like if you look at Curtis Armstrong's performance, he's totally real. I think
such a great movie, so funny.
The only caricature-esque performance in the film is Timothy Busfield as Poindexter, but he played it for real as a guy with Coke bottle glasses, and he was a polyglot and just brilliant, genius guy that didn't fit anywhere.
And I remember those glasses. He did an interview, and he said those glasses are so thick that he missed 90% of the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
It's funny how those things kind of happen,
Yeah, he couldn't see.
Now let's talk about your motorcycles.
Okay.
Let's talk about your motorcycles.
All right.
You love you. Let me start that one clean because this could be a clip. Let's talk about your motorcycles, Bobby. You love motorcycles.
That I do. I love them very much.
And tell me why you do. Is it the smell of the oil or the gasoline or maybe a mixture of the two? Or
Well, it's funny you should bring up the smell because one of my bikes is a racing motorcycle that I converted to street, and there's this oil that the race bikes use called castor oil, like castor oil. It's called Castrol, and it's made by Castrol, and it has a very distinctive smell. It's sort of like you're following a McDonald's French fry truck, and the combination of that smell with the racing gasoline that the bike requires is just it's wonderful.
I totally relate, and I know what you're saying. I've driven behind McDonald's trucks with fries in them, and you don't want to stop driving. And you just want to, a lot of times you just take it right to the factory, and you go, "Well, I got to get out of here." But I like you. I really do, Bobby. I really do like you, and I think it's because you're so honest and earnest. And I never thought you were going to talk about smoking the hubba bubba, because that sort of thing is kind of it's still a little in vogue minus the vogue.
Well,
I myself,
yeah, yes,
I
sir.
was just going to keep talking.
Oh well, then I'll
I had
interrupt.
nothing to go.
I will smoke a joint for 3 weeks because I only take one puff every few days. Just a little, little hair of the dog.
And you're responsible. I mean, I don't know a lot of potheads that could even keep track of a joint for 3 weeks, much
Yeah,
less have the temperament of not smoking it.
no, I'm not a pothead. I like a little taste every now and then. That's kind of my deal.
And that's what she said. Let's take a look at the board. I'm going to look at the board. Also, you're in a band. We just glanced on this. We just put a bit of a pina colada drop on it. Tell me about your band and what kind of music is it and so on and so forth.
Well, the latest band that I play with is called The Czechs, and the lead singer, band leader, is a fella named Richard Gabai, really good guy. And last time we played together was at the Viper Room, and it's rock and roll. This is good old-fashioned rock and roll.
Give me an example of another band that would be similar.
Uh, Maybe Huey Lewis and the News. Is that it? Huey Lewis
I
and the
like
News?
the heart of rock and roll is still beating.
Yeah, exactly.
See, the heart of rock and roll, the heart of rock and roll, the heart of rock and roll is still beating.
Got it.
That could be a clip.
That could be a clip.
What else? What else we want to talk about? I don't want to. It's. I guess my question is, I thought I was going to have to go at you a little harder, but do you need help? I'm going to ask you that sincerely. I'm not going to be a dickhead. Do you need help?
No, I'm pretty good, man. Thank you.
Okay,
The last
that was a
time,
little aggression.
no, this is the last time I needed help. I really needed help, and I know people who know how to help me, and they helped me. But currently, things are good.
And nowadays, help could mean like Uber Eats. Like, could you hook me up with a pretzel burger? You like pretzel burgers,
I've
Bobby?
never, I've never had one, doctor.
You want to ask me a question? Hell, let's just go free nilly.
How tall are you?
That's none of your damn business.
Okay, how much do you
I'm
weigh?
very tall. I'm 6'7".
Holy shit, really?
6'7". Well, I wear lifts too.
Okay, yeah,
It's a little overkill. A little overkill.
yeah.
That's it. One question. How tall am I? That's it. We're done. No
That'll
more
do
for
it.
Dr. Phil.
No, sir. Well, I have one for you.
Uh,
Wait. Where do you live?
where do I live? I have many houses. I live many places.
Which
Uh,
one is your
but
primary
most of
residence?
the time, I'm in Texas. I
That's your
can't get any
primary
more for you on that.
Okay.
That's where I live normally. We take the doctor. We have studios out there, so we're able to do that, and we have enough. There's enough people in Texas to be able to come into the studio and sit in the chairs and be an audience. And I know that's hard for you to believe. And again, now I'm starting to get worked up over you. Uh, what's your favorite? You want to what do you are you the guitarist or the singer? You didn't say what part you were in the
Oh,
band,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm the guitarist.
so
The
you're
lead
just low
guitarist.
key.
Yeah.
And do you spin around and like push that guitar up against your sternum? I
No,
don't even
I,
know what a sternum is. No, your junk.
I no, I just stand there and play it, and I might move a little bit with the beat.
Because you see, I don't even play guitar, but I do that. I
You
press
move
it
with
up.
the beat.
Press it up.
Okay.
All right, let's keep moving. I see you getting a little squiggly on me. Talk about what you put together for. I want to just cover this, make sure we have this completely down. These could
Okay.
be clips. You put
Okay.
together for Fred a shower caddy, and am I wrong? The shower caddy didn't even end up fitting in the shower.
Well,
Now it's in the
it didn't.
hallway,
The shower caddy did not fit in the bathroom, so it wound up in the hall.
and now it's almost toppling over. He's got plants on it, from what I hear.
Well, it has a maximum weight capacity, which he has exceeded with all these potted plants.
You just said it simply. I mean, that's just the way you got to say it. Say it one more time.
He's exceeded the weight capacity with all these potted plants.
We got it. That was a good one. That's going to be a clip. So, what do you think with Fred? I mean, Fred has a certain. I'll talk more about Fred. I mean, this whole interview isn't about Fred, but what is it about Fred? I mean, he could just go get a slice of pizza and be tickled and bouncing off the chair. Where do you think that comes from? Is that what you get? Because you've done a lot of acting. You have a long career. What is it? What is he? Why does he get a little bounce in his step? Where does it come from?
I think, to be honest, I think Fred's a little mentally challenged, and he masks that with incessant talking.
To try to throw you off his track.
Yeah, so you don't really see who Fred is. He's got himself sequestered behind a wall of bullshit. One time, Fred
And he
invited.
can.
Well, one time Fred invited me to lunch with a half hour's notice. So I jumped in my car, I went to the restaurant, and as I'm pulling up, my phone rings. He says, "Don't come in." I go, "What?" He says, "Well, I'm sitting with this guy who is very anxious and he can't handle a new person." I said, "Well, I'm going to come in and have some lunch and I'll wave at you," which is what I did. So that was a very Fred move, I think.
And I know who you're talking about just
Yeah,
by just
I don't
by
know if we,
the fact
if we,
that
I don't know if we can name the individual.
I don't think we can either. But I could do a little bit of a voice.
Of that guy or of Fred?
The early Himalayans were really a magnificent trip because when in the 1930s, when the mafia was, just sort of like,
You get it? A
I would
little
have
bit. Sometimes he'll go on for.
if I met him. I didn't get to meet him. Remember, I got banished from the lunch with 1 minute's notice.
Well, I know you got banished, but you kind of banished yourself because you said, "Look, I'm Bobby. I'm gonna stay over here. I'm gonna give a wave. I'm gonna be respectful." But you could have just sort of pretended like you couldn't find your glasses or kind of stumble around and then end up at the table and pop up and say, "Oh, how's it going?"
Oh, hi, how are you guys?
I was doing okay. My foot, I've got a bit of a, I don't know if it's a sore or it's maybe a puncture wound.
That's good. That's good. Hey, does it look like I'm looking straight ahead now?
You are so tiny on my screen. I do that to my guests so that I feel more superior. I'll
Ah,
make you a tiny little thumbnail.
okay. So you can't tell where I'm looking.
I can't even see your face, to be honest with you. It's as blurry as it was before. No,
Okay.
it's working okay. I see you, you see me, peekaboo, all that stuff.
All right.
Now you're also a handyman, and we talked about you putting the shower caddy together, but have you ever used a chainsaw?
Yes, I have used a chainsaw, and you should be very careful if you're a guitar player and you're using a chainsaw. Have you used a chainsaw, Dr. Phil?
No, I've used a changed saw, Bobby.
Okay.
Okay, because you can hold it and you can change, and that's
Yeah,
up to you.
that's correct. You can change.
And what's your favorite thing to eat? I mean, let's say middle of the night, you just want something, and what is it? What is it usually?
Well, it would be possibly chicken fried steak or steak
In the
tart.
middle of the night?
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Let's stay with the first one. You're about to name a whole list. How are you going to make? Who has the follow through to wake up in the middle of the night and make chicken fried steak? Do
No,
you know
it's
anyone like that?
no, and you'd have to have it like you took it home from a restaurant and you stashed it in the fridge, and then you get home and you nuke it. But all kidding aside, if I had some leftover spaghetti marinara in the fridge, I would eat it cold. I love that.
With the spaghettis, not just the sauce.
No, with the spaghettis. Absolutely.
How many spaghettis?
Oh, maybe 16 ounces worth.
That's a lot of spaghettis.
Yeah, it is. I love
And what's the
spaghetti.
number two? Give me number two. What's number two?
Middle of the night. Um,
Let's say 2:15 a.m.
2:15 a.m. That would be Raisin Bran.
with sugar on top.
No, you just eat the Raisin Bran with milk and call it a day.
Don't tell me what to do. Um, I have a feeling you like me because you're looking at me, you're smiling. At times, you're laughing at me. I feel like you're having a good time.
I'm having a great time. I had no idea. I was afraid I was going to get my head shrunk.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen on this episode, but you definitely do need it shrunk to some degree. But then again, I mean, here's a guy that eats spaghetti in the middle of the night, races motorcycles, and is in these John Wayne Gacy movies.
Yeah, I
See, I
don't.
did,
I
I
don't
did it
race
again.
motorcycles. I race cars.
I thought you rode motorcycles.
No, I rode motorcycles. I ride motorcycles, but I used to race cars.
What color?
The last one I raced was white, with a lot of stickers on it. In fact,
Did you get?
I have a model of it right here.
Are you putting me on with this?
No, I'm not.
But it's white.
Yeah, this is the same model of the car, but it's not the proper paint job. But I do have one that is actually the proper paint job, and this car I raced in Daytona and Sebring.
Wow, that's something else.
Isn't that cool looking?
That's cool. And you always wanted to do this? You always dreaming about it?
Yeah, when I was a little kid, on forward, I always wanted to be a racing driver. And because of my acting profession, I had enough money to start, because when you start, you got to pay your own way. Then after you show your prowess, provided you have prowess, they start to pay you. So in the end, I became a pro.
And You're telling me you didn't just do it to wear those leather outfits?
No, no, I didn't do it just to wear the outfits.
Listen, that's something to say and that's something to do. And when I like to go to sleep and I wake up in the middle of the night, I like a large piece of meat, and I don't even care if it's cooked. I like to chew on it, wrestle it, punch it, slap it on the face. That's how I am. I'm more of a watchdog at night. I'm not even hungry, but it's something I want to wrestle with.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. And you know, one of the things I left out that I would eat in the middle of the night if I had the methodology to do it, to create it, would be steak tartare. I love steak tartare.
Why do you like steak tartare?
I like eating raw meat like you, and the way they prepare it at this one restaurant over in Hollywood, it's just scrumptious.
Is that what steak tartare is? That's raw meat, huh?
It's raw meat. It's got the capers in it, maybe some onion, a raw egg, a little Worcestershire sauce, and they mix it all up, and then that's it. It's ready to go. Sounds good, doesn't it?
It does, and it reminds me that I forgot to eat this morning, and I'm gonna get something probably, maybe some that Jersey something. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna give them a plug, but it's a Jersey something. It's that makes sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
You know which one I'm talking about?
I know exactly which one you're talking about. I never ate there. Is that good?
It's good if you like bad. You know, I mean, how can I break this down to you, Bobby? I know that.
That's really funny, man. It's good if you like bad. Fuck, is that funny?
Well, look, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise awareness for laughter.
Yeah.
It's called awareness for laughter. Yeah, it's comedians doing jokes for you so that you can laugh at them, and we're raising money for laughter.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. One of my favorite comics. Can I say who it is?
I wish you would.
Bill Burr.
Oh, yeah.
I love Bill Burr.
Oh, yeah, I love Bill Burr.
He is a funny son of a bitch.
He's probably the funniest guy, I think, as a comedian for sure, and even as an actor. I mean, he really charges it up. I mean, he can
do anything.
He's great.
Yep. What a talented man. You know, my favorite things to watch.
And by the way, I like this.
Yeah?
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No,
I didn't mean that. I have your speaker turned down.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
I have your speaker turned down.
All right. Well, I guess you're reading my lips, right?
No, I can hear you, but I can't hear you. Again, it's that domination thing. It's my own insecurities.
Yes.
I have to be louder than the guest.
Okay. Well, anyway.
But what were you saying? Let's get it to it.
Yeah, I watch the Bill Burr Conan O'Brien clips on YouTube, and the way he cracks up Conan O'Brien just makes the whole rap even funnier. And if you ever get time, I'm sure you're very busy being a doctor and all, but if you ever get time, you should look at the Bill Burr Conan O'Brien clips on YouTube. They're really good.
What's your favorite one?
I think the one where he's going on and on about the bicycle scandal with Lance Armstrong, and he got into the interview that Lance Armstrong did with Oprah, and it's really funny. I don't want to screw it up for you, but you should watch it.
I love clips. You know what? Like this is what I was saying throughout the whole show. That's a good clip. That could be a clip. I think that was a clip. I kept saying things like that. That's because I thought it could be a good clip. You know,
right?
Like that right there could be a clip.
Yeah, yeah, it could have been. It may be. Are you in?
I want to look at the board again just to get. You know, I'm not, and I am. So yes.
Yeah, you seem like you're
enough. I'm not used to the creamer I've been doing, and it's just been working bracelets up in my esophagus. It's Hurricane Katrina
God,
or
Ian,
you
Hurricane
know,
Ian.
New Orleans. So I'm having to basically readjust my seat because I'm being readjusted in my insides.
Got it.
You better wish you didn't get it.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get it, but I understand what you're saying. I went to a hamburger joint the other day, a very famous one. I don't know if I can say it. Can I say it?
Sure.
In and Out Burgers, which are kind of unique to California. They don't have them in Texas, so you can't get one. But I ate a double In and Out burger, and it went through me in about 2 hours in a rather
It
violent
went
way.
in and out.
Oh yeah, like I can't believe it could.
It went in and out.
I can't
Yeah.
believe it could traverse all my guts that fast.
Do you eat what you want? I mean, I know you like steak and eggs. That's your thing. That's what everybody says. Do you eat a lot? Do you eat out a lot?
That's all I do is eat out. I don't cook at home.
And what's the healthiest you do when you go eat out? When you go, where do you go and what do you eat? That's the healthiest thing you can eat when
Well,
you
there's
do it.
this little restaurant in L.A. in Hollywood. Can I say what it is?
Sure.
Swingers, and they have
Whoa,
grass-fed.
whoa, whoa.
What?
I don't need to hear about your sexcapades here. You want to talk? I want to talk about steak and eggs. And
Yeah, that's what I was talking
that's
about, and
pretty
then you
funny.
interrupted me. Okay, so they got grass-fed steak and organic eggs, so it's really a great breakfast. Then I don't eat again the entire day, and then I go to Patty's in Burbank, and I usually have a dinner salad and a hamburger patty, and that's my food situation at the moment. No
I
carbs,
heard
man.
David Lynch. David Lynch has got a little weird little thing like that too. He has like a can of tuna, one olive, some olive oil. I'm not kidding you. This is the
It's,
guy. You've seen these movies he directs. You could now you see why. I
yeah,
mean, he's eating just it's just a couple tomatoes, the small ones. It's like, what are
yeah,
you doing?
I know. Wow.
Well, you want to say anything? Anything you want to say that I didn't ask?
Uh,
Anything?
well, yeah, I can tell you one thing about the John Wayne movie, The Cowboys. I had another run-in with him, and he chewed me out again. And when we weren't filming, the Cowboys were supposed to be practicing their roping. So, because I was the oldest kid and I didn't have as much school to do as the other kids, I had time to myself. So I was out roping this bale of hay with a pair of horns stuck on it, and I'm practicing away, and I hear this horse coming at a gallop, and that's unusual on a film set. Uh, and I turn around and I look, and it's the Duke, and he's on his horse with the reins pulled all the way tight to where the horse's head is turned around sideways, and the horse is not stopping. And so I did what I saw the wranglers do, and I whistled and waved my arms over my head, and the horse stopped. And seconds later, the rest of the wranglers caught up with him, and they helped him off the horse, and he went to his Winnebago to change his drawers, I guess. And so it's another hour or two later, and I'm practicing my roping, and I feel this presence, and I'm going, oh boy. And I look, and it's him. I'm going, oh shit. And he's standing over me. He was 6'4", maybe 6'5". He's standing over me, and he says, roping looks good. I go, oh, thank you, Mr. Wayne. We're having pretty good weather today. Yes, we are, Mr. Wayne. He said, well, carry on, lad. And he turned around and walked away. And that was his thank you. I took that as a thank you for stopping his horse. So that's a pretty neat deal.
At that age, were you in touch with what that meant to have a moment like that, or how much of that did you not take for granted? I mean, was it? Did you feel it all? Did you? What was it? You were talking to John Wayne in a moment where you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, well,
how much of it?
it's indelibly etched, and I'll never forget it. And it was very special.
It's so cool. It's like playing catch with Joe DiMaggio or something.
Yeah, I mean, he acknowledged that I helped him, and I thought that was really fucking cool.
That's really cool. And tell me a little bit more about John Wayne, just because we need to talk about this because it's just, I mean, these are forever icons. I mean, you could probably say top 20 actors of all time, since, I don't know, you could do things like that.
Well, there was not I don't remember ever like hanging out at the coffee pot with him. He just kind of wasn't around unless we were shooting, and when we were shooting, we didn't fuck with him because we respected the fact that he's doing his movie. So yeah, I mean that made that moment with him even more special because it just didn't happen. Another time, I wanted to ask him about a scene that we were going to shoot together, and I knocked on the door of his Winnebago, and like, come in, and I go in there, and I don't know if you knew this, but John Wayne was bald, and I didn't know that, and the makeup man was in the middle of fixing to put his hair back on, and I was so stupefied, I excused myself and left the Winnebago.
Wow. It's different for me hearing that because I'm bald.
Yeah,
You know, I kind of know what it's like. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But that's like seeing. I mean, that's like seeing a beautiful blonde girl without her blonde hair, or like no, like that's like seeing a dozen. That's cool though. You got to work with John Wayne. That's
yeah.
cool.
It really is. I'm forever blessed that that opportunity came my way, and one of the things that happened from that film was I learned how to ride a horse, and they trained us for 2.5 months prior to filming the movie to be good on a horse. And when you watch that movie, half the cowboys were real cowboys, the other half were actors, and you can't tell the difference. I mean, we really learned how to ride. So that was a huge gift. And I've used it in other westerns.
And did you like riding horses? Did you do that after the movie at times or no?
Yeah, I did. In fact, I had a little house in Mulholland.
Did you ride a horse again?
Oh, yeah. I had
Yeah.
horses in my backyard. You remember that movie?
But that's when did you partly get that because you could ride a horse before, or you were taught to ride one there?
I was taught to ride one there. And the thing about not having ridden one before was I had no bad habits to get over. I was like raw meat. And I think it made it all the more effective when we were being trained. But I had 2 horses in my backyard after that movie. And my thinking was, because I was raising a daughter by myself, was that if the shit hit the fan, we could get on the horses and ride away. Because I lived on Mulholland Drive, and I had access to the mountain that is behind Warner Brothers Studio. And if you were really good at it, you could ride all the way to the San Gabriels. So I had like this Lonely Are the Brave Kirk Douglas vibe going.
So cool, man. So cool. I'm so glad I got to meet you, and it was just a wonderful time, and I hope you had a good time. I hope it wasn't too confusing with all this computer systems and nonsense that I still don't know what button to hit. I don't know which button to hit. I don't know which button to hit.
No,
So
I have kids that help me with the computer.
all right. Well, let's just leave it at that. And have a wonderful day. And you want to plug your social or anything like that, or?
No, it doesn't exist. I mean, if you wanted to Instagram me, my Instagram is the Robert Carradine, and you can tell which one it is because it's the one with the blue check mark. And I never check, I never check Facebook because I don't know how to use it. So don't use that. And that's it, man.
Thank you, Bobby. And I hope we'll talk soon. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. This was great. I loved it.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.